This is David versus Goliath, with implications that would rock our world. The mysterious challengers. Rule 1 is more confident than ever, but Goliath looms tall to block out the sun. Every battle tougher than the last. Neither team can afford to lose here. Rule 1 versus Vitality for top 3.
Look around you, Rule 1. Feast your eyes, Vitality. You own Aganis Arena. Now show us why you wear your colors at the pit stop between Dynasty and Destiny. One lap closer to a date with the championship trophy. We're underway.
We've witnessed soaring highs and plunging lows from both sides of this pitch space, man. I mean, Vitality experiencing their first upper bracket loss, all split long, their spar against BDS. And Clears, hello, welcome to the game. Starting us out hot. And speaking about BDS, Rule 1 have also gotten a taste of defeat. They're the ones who knocked Rule 1 all the way into the lower bracket earlier on in this tournament. And now they've both risen from defeat and forged their way forward to face off in this lower bracket semifinal.
It's gonna take all the might of David to slow this Goliath in Vitality. 3-time regional champions in Europe, the best team in their own spot. But Rule 1 have something special cooking, and Rawas leads in on a self-serve before Vitality get back out to the midfield.
And this is already a counter-attack game. Zen, this ball was back and forth. You said yesterday, Spaceman, coast to coast, and it happens once more.
Small counterattacks from Vitality that happen so quickly. They blossom out of nowhere. This team's known for it. They continue it. The story lives on, and the players thrive off of it. Such little time killed in game 1. A best of 7's a marathon.
Austin.
And in front of the box, here comes Austin, pulling his way forward, but Zen denies for the first goal.
That was such an awkward situation for Alpha 54 to recover. I'm not sure why he hit the brakes. Clearly knew something I didn't, as it did work out. Mawson, another shot, fires away, saved, and Roas is going to take the boost. All the pressure mounting for Rule 1 as they're hungry to neutralize.
Rule 1 love playing low net, hitting it right up the gut, getting
target.
physical. And of course, Mawson, so good yesterday, continues here.
And you can tell why they're the Boston fan favorites. Vitality knocked down North America out of the tournament, and everybody is jumping on the bandwagon of Rule 1. They want to see this team eliminate the villains of North America. They do neutralize, leaving the fake from the corner. Radosin has to get the save. Ball popped up. It's floating. Another critical touch from Radosin.
This was the litmus test early on, trying to keep Vitality at bay, and you respond with a quick goal on the opposite end. Nicely done by Rule 1. With that midfield pressure from Alpha 54, being the catalyst for the offense, allows them to find space on the side wall. When Vitality starts to push up, they can burn you down quickly. You give them an inch, and they'll take a mile.
And obviously you have to talk about the 1v1 ability of Zen. This man with space can do almost anything, but it's the same for Roas. I mean, he's the player who's beaten Zen in the past 2 1v1 matchups, and he is the nemesis of Zen specifically. How fitting, like James Bott said, that he would be the one to take down Vitality, but is it even possible? Farah, in the interview, he mentioned nobody can take down Vitality if they're in peak form, and Radosin wants to show that by faking it and leaving it for another striker.
Rule 1's defense has been so good this weekend, potent as ever, just like their offense. Leaning into those fundamentals, it's gonna have to be the same in this series as well. Knowing how long a best of 7 can be, they've done a nice job shutting down Radosin in the offensive third, and that 50 will just be a little bit wide, but the counterattack starts for Vitality.
Such an explosive game, Spaceman. This is everything that I've wanted and would want out of this series. Huge clears down the other side. Not one team finding most of the possession. Quick shots in succession needed in order to break down the defense. Here it is, popped up into the midfield. Radosin, potentially a flip reset, can keep following and looking for the double. No possession granted, and back down the other end we go.
Mawson had to track all the way through the midfield. Rawas was low on boost, so he fell back to make sure the island was secured. Vitality playing it one at a time. Zen ready for the connection, but quick cut down. Rawas now moving into the lane. The number's still up. Rule 1, have an opportunity into the air, burning it all, looking for the final touch. Mawson on target, saved away by Zen.
It was on target, but not the most accurate. A little bit of space to the left side of the goalkeeper. But just seeing Rule 1 hit a couple of shots in a nice sweet sequence is going to give a lot of confidence to those watching at home, wanting to see Rule 1 take down Vitality.
And Vitality aren't getting a lot of rebounds off the backboard. It's keeping Radosin and Alpha at bay. Zen's going to try to work through those counterattacks, but nicely done by Rule 1, keeping the ball in front of them and keeping Vitality on their back toes. Alpha with a huge 50 at the midfield. You'll rely on Clears to clear this one way, but uh-oh, it's a missed touch, and Vitality should be able to capitalize. All three commit, still alive. Vitality start their press.
And that just shows the amount of respect you have to give the striker from Vitality. Zen wants something off the backboard. A weird bounce, corner shot, missed. Another one, letting it fly. And Rule 1 stand tall, but they're still under pressure.
The door is still locked. It's going to take a barrage of shots from Vitality to open it up.
On target.
Great touch from the elbow, down to the ground, and now it's up to Clears.
We've already seen 11 shots from Team Vitality, 17 shots from Rule 1. An absolute shootout here in Game 1.
52% of the possession to Rule 1. It hasn't really felt like it in the past 30 or so. Under 20 to play here in Game 1. Clears to the backboard where Dosen reads it in time, and Alpha looks for the pass. Here goes Vitality, making their move, their march, but the cavalry is in for Rule 1, clearing it back out, and now a chance. Roas fighting for possession. Underneath, Radosin looking for the clear, and Zen gives it towards his teammate. Here we go. Radosin in the midfield. You need the defense to stand up, and they do. Into OT for Game 1.
Roas, huge demo. If that pass outlet was there, who knows what the offender would have done. Roas, though, this is looking good off the backboard. Read well by Zen. Back and forth between orange and blue.
Both teams reading each other so quickly. Radosin going to play it high off the backboard. This will be a clear out to the midfield. Clears will begin to track. Into the back lane, through the corners, the pressure continues, but Rule 1 always have a number up. Ready and waiting for the touch from Vitality. And yet again, they'll get back out to midfield.
Good demo from Clears. Two players out of Vitality, bunched up. Concerned a bit for the spacing, but look at all this time wasted from Zen, and he gets the follow-up. This is exactly what Vitality want. Hoping to force out a mistake from Rule 1, but good composure and stoicism out of them. Another good situation where Roas is hunting for a demo. So is Clears behind the ball. That's the classic play out of Rule 1, the mid-air demos.
They want that physicality to lead way to this win here in Game 1. And what a way to do it. 1 minute gone. Vitality still have numbers up. Working to the back line, it's Roas. The 50 won't connect. One demo leads way. Power play, downfield, slow touch. Radosin stares directly at Rule 1 and closes it out.
With how fast-paced this match was, of course it's gonna be a slow roller that goes in. Clears, early dodge, diving across the net, hoping to get a touch, but that ball with no pace behind it is enough to slip in.
I mean, defensive jabs left and right from Rule 1 Vitality. Go back and forth early on, and it shows in the stats.
19 shots for Rule 1, 16 shots for Vitality. This is going to be a ridiculous series if it keeps up.
You don't often see 35 shots in the start of a best-of-7 at this stage of a tournament with this much pressure. I think that says a lot about Rule 1.
The stats, I could go on, Spaceman. We barely get to see this type of offense and defense both in a match. This is truly one of the most delicious, I'd say, entrees you could get in Rocket League. I mean, you're getting everything right now. The sides, the French fries, it's all perfect.
I wonder what the main course is going to look like for this series. If that's how Game 1 was.
What's the dessert? Is it going to be an OT?
I hope so. We better be getting to Game 7 out of these two teams, how they've been playing this week. But my goodness, Vitality trying to make the run, continue to cement their legacy that they've had very quickly. Welcome back. That's me, that's him. And my goodness, our Rule 1 on a roll. Even in a close Game 1, they still look like they have so much to give.
They are on a roll, but at the end of the day, you felt the edge shift to Vitality, the quality of shots as the game progressed. I felt like we were shifting more and more, like I said, to possession on the orange side. They were starting to get comfortable. Rule 1 looked for those demo plays, but Vitality have done their homework. They've done their research. They know what they're up against, and it's not going to be as simple as a mid-air demo. You've got to do more. Let's see if Game 2 changes.
Off the opening kickoff. Begin the proceedings with a Vitality possession. Ball stuck in traffic for the moment. Eventually it will jet out. Mawson on the slow, and he'll play through the corner. Rule 1 trying to continue that pressure they've had upfield into the orange half. But here comes Zen, and it's going to take a diving save from Rule 1 to keep it out.
And we're not seeing the same level of panic out of Vitality. Their defense has been spaced out. They already caused the double commit. And Alpha 54 will get the first one again for Vitality.
It's one thing to keep Alpha at bay. It's another to have to worry about Radosin at midfield. That immediate challenge up to set up Zen. This team is a full three-headed Hydra every single possession.
And how about Radosin, man? There were so many fingers pointed at him after they got obliterated by BDS. People asking for his head. I mean, thinking he's the issue, he's the problem. After just one series, and for him to shoulder all of that blame and come out truly firing, it feels like he's fine-tuned his engines and he's prepared. And I'm just impressed with that recovery. Vitality want to extend this lead now, make it 2-0.
Vitality getting so much more comfortable on the other side, winning a lot of those 50s to keep Alpha pushed up and allow for the rebounds set out on the center. Slow on the approach, clears. But the clear from Vitality for the moment. They can breathe for how long, though? That's the question.
Does look like the midfield boost has been in favor of Rule 1. That's going to bode well as they're trying to mount some form of possession. Two players in the same spot out of Vitality, which means there's more space. Clears wants to fire the cannon, but can't get behind the ball. Zen, easy carry out, and nothing to be tested on the defense of Vitality.
I mean, Rule 1 can't even break out. They're constantly worrying about these extra challenges at midfield. The steals, the interceptions from Vitality have made it absolutely chaotic. And that's what you want if you're a Vitality fan. For Rule 1, the defense has been pretty good so far in this series, but they need a counterattack to slow the bleeding, and the double tap from Zen just makes it even more difficult.
Doesn't even need the setup, Spaceman. Alpha 54, good 50-50 challenge. Roas came in and out of the net, but of course not gonna get a touch. If it's Zen behind the ball, man, I don't think you're gonna find anything you're looking for. 2-0, Vitality.
Well, physicality from Rule 1, one of the staples has gotten towards this point in this tournament. Needs to start showing up. Off-ball offense is huge.
Oh, look at the dribble.
Roas and Mawson known for it. So Roas in the center box, beautifully played, and there's the goal.
Maybe it's a grounded approach needed. This is from one half of the Twins. Roas behind the ball, flips past one, and gets it between and threads the needle.
Vitality just had to sit and wait. They knew the pass was coming, but Rule 1 played it better. Here's the response you're looking for. Looking for the equalizer now off the kickoff, off the crossbar, it bangs, and back out to Alpha on the transition.
There's the 1v1 plays. I think Zen's getting flashbacks. A little bit traumatized with this game. Do not give that man any space on the ball, on the ground. Control unmatched as Zen wins another 50-50. We're still within one. About half the game to go, Spaceman.
And Ross does a nice job cutting that one down. It shuts down the push from Vitality. You try to play the 2-on-1 down the other side, but here comes Zen. So easy on that open space. More numbers fly forward, crash into the box. And a slow approach on the back line. Rule 1 trying to slow the pace down.
It just feels like they have to organize a little bit more on defense. Not seeing the best spacing. Two players from Rule 1 consistently stepping over each other. Not sure who's going for the ball at certain times. Here's another example because you're getting suffocated. Another double commit, and that's 3 cars in the same spot. These mistakes cannot be happening against Vitality, who looks to be back in that peak form.
And once Vitality have possession, they're already rotating out, getting boosted to the midfield. So these extra rebounds, these extra touches, make it so much more difficult for Rule 1 just to break away from the chokehold they have, as Vitality will play this one-on-one game towards the back wall and constantly win it, circling it around to the adjacent side. Roas now popping it high, skying towards center field. Heliers can't get it away. Vitality cut it down yet again.
Little dunks like that, small moments are going to be huge for Vitality, and look at what it leads to. Several more shots on target. Speaking about shots, 10, make it 11 for Vitality. Continuing the onslaught, the shootout that they want to play against Rule 1. This ball has been stuck in the blue side, and it might just result in some security for Vitality.
Rule 1 finally gets some boost, but they still can't get out from the ceiling. Alpha 54 was trying to put on a highlight reel. And you keep this pressure moving, you're probably going to find a Game 2 victory. Rule 1, a necessary clear, and Clears will get the call.
I think at this moment, the only way I see Rule 1 getting back to this game is going to be through an overextension out of Team Vitality. Do they bite? That is the question. 50 seconds to get one booming clear down the other side. And right now, Mawson didn't think anybody was home and was hoping nobody was, but Radosin, he's in position.
And those are the challenges you're going to need if you're Will 1 on the
Slippery
side wall,
set.
just to help break up the monotonous grind from Vitality. Huge 50 and stop from Radosin. Jumps in front of the play. Center box still there. Clears. Top shot. Slot.
They got the bump. They paved the way. Roas, 2 taken out. Mawson can turn quickly. And we're back to square one.
This team gets counted out every single game, and they always find an answer. But Vitality are 3-time regional champions, and it's because of that man in the air. Zen, Radosin stepping up individually, and Alpha looking for the double. A dagger right into the back of Rule 1, but the defense denies.
Wanting to set up the fake was Alpha. 10 seconds left. Rule 1. Could they do it? Clears. He had the double tap the shot. Not on target either. It's a high floater. And Vitality could do the exact same thing Rule 1 almost did to them.
Back-to-back overtimes. Rule 1 need this one. Momentum for Vitality. Patience from Rule 1. And off the kickoff, one of the most storied organizations in Rocket League history will have possession. Alpha holding the reset, skirts it around, front box shot, and it's denied. Radosin can't clear.
So many close 50-50s on the goal line. Rule 1, how much longer can they hold on to this defensive approach? They've got to absorb so many shots from Team Vitality, and this is a fast-paced ball off the backboard. Radosin, look at the speed on that clear.
The bread and butter for Vitality. Those long clears and the cutdowns at the midfield. You have to keep pace, continue to skate alongside them. Radosin playing it low.
Good 50.
Huge challenge from Kaliers. Numbers are up. Rule 1, thinking twice, but here comes Zen. He's done it before. Can he do it again? It falls through, and Zen lets him know, standing up tall.
He's just got to remind Roas who he thinks is the best 1v1 player. 3-2, overtime ended, and Vitality continue their tear.
You get Vitality on the brink, they get an answer right back. Rule 1 so close in back-to-back games.
They had so many opportunities.
But every single time, this is the difference maker. It's Vitality who are just a little bit better in the clutch. The midfield pressure, the presence, getting clean touches and extensions towards their teammates. That has been the difference maker in this game with how close it's been, 15 shots to 10. Vitality, they had a little bit more, but they always seem to have that extra spice.
It's so true, Spaceman, but I think you'd be a crazy, crazy person to believe that Rule 1 did not look like they were within inches of winning that game. They had so many opportunities, and I personally think they could have won that OT before we even got into it. I mean, we didn't have to go into OT given the setups that we got out of the blue side.
It says 53% of the touches were for Rule 1, and I believe the stat, but it didn't feel that way.
No.
Vitality's pressure in the blue half was overwhelming, and it had to feel like that. Rule 1's defense stood tall, but it wasn't enough. And even though they had great counterattacks on the other side, something's got to change going into game 3.
But they've shown that it can be enough, Spaceman. That is the key point. With this defensive approach from Rule 1, it is risky. It's a double-edged sword. We don't get a timeout. Rule 1 continue on, and into game 3 we go.
Will it come back to bite him, or Kaliers take it off the kickoff? Was looking towards the stealing touch, almost a double tap to open up proceedings. Cleared out by Vitality. Everybody starts to take a breath back in the midfield.
And I really like this call of not going for the timeout, if I'm honest. I don't think these guys are playing poorly whatsoever. A couple of double commits here and there, the defense panicking, but it's almost impossible not to against Vitality, given the mechanics on that side. Just take a look at this. A flip reset. Opportunity pinched off the corner. Zen trying to control it. Doesn't get the best touch. Another double commit. Rule 1 shaky in game 3.
Well, they've done a nice job of limiting the mechanics and the space from Vitality, but it really came down to, again, that midfield control and the constant rebounds players like Radosin and Alpha 54 are finding. Sure, the OT goal could go either way, but in the end, Vitality still have that space to work through as Zen burning all of his boost to keep this one moving. Reset, juggle, almost inside, but not quite enough to finish the play.
Roas in and out of the net to get that clear. How many times have we seen that from Rule 1? on the goal line. Last-second heroics diving across, and now they make their march towards potentially getting that first goal.
You're lucky enough, maybe a double commit, or you're able to bump a player off. You get a close enough look into the center box. Rule 1 trying to create havoc on the goal line for Vitality, as Zen looks for the clear to the corner. Numbers are up. Here comes Alpha 54. Will win the touch. 2 minutes burned so far. And it's been really all of both teams, Rule 1, Vitality, both getting chances at the midfield.
And it's been an aerial domination from Team Vitality. Every time this ball gets popped up into the air, I'm seeing Vitality win every challenge. They have the speed. They're outpacing Rule 1. Does this mean you stay grounded? I think so. You've got the dribble in Roas, but that's a mistouch, and it could set up Zen. Wants the 1v2 and squeeze it between everybody, but Boston has Rule 1 covered.
Yeah, you have to play it off the backboard and just hope, a wing and a prayer, you have enough boost to find a powerful clear. Clears, right place, right time. The demo does hurt, but it won't kill Rule 1 here. That touch will! Bounces off the crossbar so many times this weekend, so close yet so far.
Redosin coming alive. That would have been a screamer. They're gonna have to try and try again. That's all we've seen so far. 6 shots, 0 goals. Half that for Rule 1. They've got to start building something. I know they want to play passive. It's almost like they have to. Again, keep the ball grounded. Look for these dribbles. Mawson, that's what we like to see, pushing out into the midfield. But look at how good Vitality are getting this ball up quick in the air.
And Rule 1 already took out some of the rotating players of Vitality, getting off their lane and causing congestion, making it more difficult to get in front for a 50, to take away possession. That's what they like to do, keeping it on the ground. As Alpha couldn't hold on to the dribble, and Roas through the corner. We'll try to play a 1 game against Zen. We've seen a couple of times. Boston can't find the center. And on the other side of the field, it's Zen and Clears fighting on a one-on-one.
Don't you love to see that? I'm sure Zen is as comfortable as ever. Mawson clears as an outlet pass, cuts in early, still read by Zen, and I'm getting reminded of Vitality's domination against Gen G. Reading plays, understanding the passing lanes. They're repeating that in this best of 7.
Really a lot of patience from Vitality on their own side of the field, doing a nice job of getting these long clears. Rule 1 expending a lot of boost to keep this offense moving. The extensions haven't been there through the second touches. They've been winning some rebounds off of those opening 50s, but other than that, it really has been Vitality with what seems like relatively decent control of this game.
But Rule 1 have cleaned up. Barely any double commits. I'd say for the past few minutes, they seem to be spaced out. Does this bode well for their transitions, for their counterattacks? Can they find a position where they can strike?
Off the backboard, here it goes, Kalir. There's the extra letter, 1 minute remaining. Vitality, just looking for the clear now, it's Zen. We've seen this before, onto the backboard, Clears will rotate out and clear it away. Still alive for Vitality, and they are continuing to put more pressure through these corners and winning those rebounds as well.
The air is thick. The tensions are high. Clears, that's a high ball himself, all the way down the other side, but nobody's waiting, but it's the opposite story. Zen, high flying in the air, receives every single clear from Vitality.
Back to boom ball. Vitality love this style. They can get so creative in the space, working through the sidewall, letting Zen get comfortable. Alpha has Zen on the wing, taking it on his own. Here's the commit. Redosin fights through the challenge, and Zen pops it high. Redosin will play it towards the side. Vitality still swinging through.
Good carry, and regardless of all this pressure, Rule 1 can still hold their heads high. They've remained scoreless, kept Vitality scoreless, and with 1 second remaining, it hits the ground. Back into OT we go.
3 overtimes in a row, a golden goal opportunity yet again. Maybe 3rd time's the charm here for Rule 1. They need it now. You don't want to go down 0-3 against a team like Vitality. We know how difficult it can be to start that reverse sweep. Redosin has been so good on the rebounds this series, setting up Vitality time and time again.
And I like this dribble from Clears. You want to set up a play, but if you're going for 1 massive hit down the other side, it's so easily read. Keep it to yourself. Didn't work out 100% the way they wanted, but still relieve some pressure. And as I say that, Vitality mounting, and Roas, good 50-50. This could lead to something. How long has it been since we saw Rule 1 have a good offensive stride?
And every time they throw it off the backboard, Vitality make the read and just clear it away so quickly, just like here. Redosin trying to cheat behind the back line and get in front of the defense. But Zen will play this one just as often as he does to Alpha on the other side. And we're stealing boost. If you're Vitality, Rule 1 aren't going to have a lot to fall back on.
Another booming clear. Clears doesn't hold on to it. And you don't blame them. There's barely any boost to go around. That's a good 50-50 though. Redostin, first save in quite some time. Heating up is the blue side. Alpha 54 though, flip reset, off the backboard. Kaliers turns in, and this looks scary.
And they're 3-stacking on their rotations. It's going to be more easy for Vitality to pick them apart in rotation. If they're not able to turn in time, cutting into the lane. This should be a chance for Rule 1 to fight for Zen, a fight against Zen on that possession. But yet again, it seems like Vitality are so quick to get back out to the midfield. Not a lot of contests that they're fighting on their own line.
Golden goal. One mistake, one opportunity. Rule 1 might be facing a Vitality on match point if they lose this. This feels like a must win, or else everything is stacked against you, and that could end it. Boston not on target, crossbar and out.
And the last thing you want to do here if you're Rule 1 is
another
move off the play. Here comes Roas. Zen will find the denial. And Mawson fighting for his life against this Vitality defense that has been so strong in this overtime. Can Rule 1 hold on to the ball?
That's got to build some kind of confidence for Rule 1, knowing that they can hold it down on defense. Vitality unable to penetrate the armor, and Rule 1 have sharpened their blade.
Almost 3 minutes gone, and Alpha with nothing but a
Another
bomb. Two hanging back. Vitality don't want to overcommit.
Scary situation. Rule 1 over each other in rotations, but how fast can they recover? It's ridiculous. They commit one mistake, have two players in the same spot, but right back into the rotation they go. Mawson, this is a scary read, wants to keep it to himself. Redostin just applying pressure. Neither team wants to take the risky opportunity. So much at stake. The lower bracket, this is an elimination series in Mawson. Huge miss, but it's dived and saved by Rule 1.
The double commit causes panic. Zen, the must beat Alpha. Connection looked cool, but it wasn't enough for the moment. Kaliers will escape and give Rule 1 a chance to breathe back at midfield. But two already falling back and watching Redostin carry it forward. It just seems like they're a little bit hesitant to go up for those challenges.
Feels like it's shooting practice for Team Vitality, and Rule 1 are glad to participate, booming the ball to the other side, letting Vitality go up for a solo play. It feels like a demo could change the tides of battle. The physical play, we haven't seen too many of it. Nice little pop-up, stringing together something, but Zen has them right where they want them.
Kaliers has been on a scoring streak this weekend. He's been red hot for Rule 1. The time is now for him to start contributing. Roas carrying, looking for Kaliers, the backflip to the midfield, and they'll try to hold on to possession here, but it gives it right back to Alpha. He's got Redostin in center box.
Wow, what a
Mawson
read.
has to jump up and make that read.
It does look like Rule 1 are adapting, understanding where Vitality wants to go with this ball. It's another pre-jump from Kaliers, and he is going to get a touch on that. Huge indication as to where Rule 1 stand. Alpha bumped out the way again. No matter who you're sending forward, it doesn't look like they can break through on Vitality.
It feels like we haven't seen a bump or a demo in years at this point. Vitality always having numbers up.
They don't want to spend it.
Rule 1,
they don't want to risk it, Spaceman.
Rule 1 just have to find a way to break out. Vitality has had shot after shot. 16 for Vitality, 12 for Rule 1. It feels like it, and Mawson will have that easily saved.
And that's a double commit from Team Vitality. The first time we're seeing them stuck on defense, getting starved out. And another one, slowly dwindling away. Team Vitality, when they're stuck on defense, it doesn't look good. But thankfully, if you're a fan of them, they've quickly buried themselves out.
Zen closing in on 800 points for this match. Redostin leaving it in front for the young prodigy. Back pass Redostin, both committing. And Alpha will win the rebound yet again before Roas cuts it down. Interception to the midfield. Kaliers following through, gets a bump. Numbers fall back. It feels like it's just these one-on-one challenges for Rule 1. They don't have two up at a time, and maybe they need it.
It's gonna take courage from any player on the field. That's a good pass up to Roas, but Zen has it read. Not the best bounce. Free shot saved by Alpha.
5.5 minutes, a whole extra game of Rocket League, and they didn't even take a timeout. They're feeling it, but so is Redostin. Zen, 6 shots, no goals, 7 saves to his name, keeping Vitality in this still no goal score.
This is such an important game, Spaceman. An extra game of Rocket League you've played. To lose this would be a dagger to the heart. You want to keep emotions high. Rule 1 have survived, but for how long?
A little easy on the read. Kaliers trying to get it over Alpha. He might have. Huge win, playing it through the corner. Roas looking to slow it down and will do so. Gets it around 1, around 2. But yet again, Vitality jump in front of the lane and cut it down.
I think Mawson got that boost, which means Zen has to rotate all the way back. But another midfield challenge, Vitality. This feels like a game where they should have gotten a goal years ago. But Rule 1, this defense, it's not made out of brick, it's just absolute titanium.
Caught in a gridlock between these two teams. 18 saves for Rule 1. Roas, no bump on the goal line. Alpha in a 1v1.
This could be it.
Has for days, has the bump, it rolls forward, but another huge save, and Rule 1 stands strong.
Boston sitting on the edges of their seats. It's a fake off the post, and there was a touch from Vitality. A taste of their own medicine. Big clear down the other side. Each defense has been tested.
And there's the demo we were looking for at the midfield, where Dosen's gonna fall quickly back down to reality. And it comes up to Roas, to Zen, from the sidewall, burning all of his boost, can't get it past Clears, no one at the midfield. Hold on, a moment for Rule 1. Can they press the takeaway from Alpha and off the backboard? Here goes Rule 1 defense yet again.
This might just be some of the best Rocket League we've seen. Look at the defense, the 1v1 opportunities. Everything has been getting denied. Still back out into the midfield, Zen. Stoicism behind it, around 1, but that's not going to be enough to break through.
But at least he gets the corner grab, so they have resources in the tank for Vitality. They can afford to expend a lot. Mawson, the only one up for Rule 1. Numbers fly back yet again. Zen is trying to get over the lone defender, but the safety
Look at the
pulls
read.
back and waits, and it's constant reads from Rule 1.
I mean, they're pre-jumping. They have been stuck on defense for most of the OT. Of course they know what Vitality want to do. There's got to be a change-up, a switch-up on the pitches out of Vitality. Will it be a curveball, a fastball? Something unique is necessary, because big clears like this are not enough.
Neither team wants to overcommit, and you can't blame them. They have to play the 2-on-2.
Oh, no.
Alpha
Oh,
just
no.
has to play with his food, slowing it down yet again. We've seen this shot and attempt time and time again from Vitality, from the ceiling, putting it on the sword, but another huge save.
23 saves for Rule 1. This is ridiculous.
A defensive masterclass from Mina. A ridiculous amount of shots from Vitality. Alpha in connection. Back to the midfield. This ball jets laterally. And they'll play it towards the center box. Boston meets it on the connection. Here comes Roas. Rule 1 have numbers up.
Here we go.
Feels like the first time in forever.
And finally, when they look to break out, you've got Vitality. And it looks like we had forgotten a little bit that they knew how to play defense, but they're reminding us they're not a team that's just an offensive powerhouse. They can do it all,
Vitality are still jumping in front of these touches, denying so much extension from Rule 1. It's got to be so annoying to play against this team. But Rule 1 have answered every single call in this overtime. And my goodness, they are having to fight for this win.
We've got to bring up the fact that Vitality haven't overcommitted. They haven't been too desperate. Remaining calm in times of worry is what makes a true champion on that stage. It's Zen's rookie season, his first RLCS LAN, and Vitality still scoreless. Slippery stick, Clears almost ended it, but we're still moving on. Mawson off the post, nothing can break through.
It just doesn't get more difficult than this. Almost 10 minutes of overtime.
What do you do, Spaceman?
Rule 1 are fighting for their lives in this bracket. Vitality can't crack it. We have crossed the 10-minute mark, and Radosin plays it into the corner. Alpha trying to move forward. Another clear from Mawson. There's the demo on the back line. Power play for the moment. Both teams down and back to full strength.
24 saves now out of Rule 1. That is a LAN record for a team. Can they keep the story moving? Can they keep it pushing if you're Rule 1? Or will Vitality have the weapon that's needed?
Add another, make it 25. Roas in the back line. Mawson just trying to keep pace with Alpha. Blowing the tank for the moment. Zen has a lot to work with here, but misreads it.
Oh, there's an option. Left
Clears.
He wants the
center
bump.
box. They were looking for the bump. Turtle, they were so close.
Why didn't we go for the pass for Radosin? Is he gonna go for the pass? He fakes out one. Shot opportunity. There's no second man. Everybody's pulling back. Both teams are so safe in this situation. They don't even want to risk the outlet pass.
It feels like a roll call. It was
Zen.
almost acrobatics and dangerous ones at that. Double commit that clears it away.
boost is gone.
Vitality are still up. They can absolutely do it here. Alpha from the ceiling wins at 50 to Zen. Zen gonna catch this one and try to dribble around. You have numbers in front, it's clears. Maasen will call his own number. Here comes Vitality, but they can't break through.
Rule 1, pre-jump into the air. They have it read. Vitality. You thought the mechanics were amazing, but Rule 1 know just how good they are, and every single spot is covered on the defensive side.
Roas had to rotate out slowly. He was so far out of the play.
Over to Roas.
Maybe it does pay off.
That's too
Hold on, it's a breakaway chance.
One
to the
shot.
corner.
One opportunity.
Here comes Roas, but Alpha yet again an easy read. Vitality on the pinch. Are you kidding? Towards the backboard, we play on.
Let's keep it going. This OT just doesn't know when to quit, and neither do these teams.
Do we break 30 saves? Do Rule 1, find one goal. Are you kidding? Top
The
left
shot.
slot.
That's
This
it.
ball is sent into Fenway, and Vitality a 3-0 lead.
The longest OT on land has been broken, and it's by Team Vitality. What a ridiculous game, a series, and a historic battle we got to witness.
There is no esport on the planet like Rocket League. You will never find a more tense overtime, a masterclass of defense from Rule 1.
29 saves, just from Rule 1 alone. 29 saves.
So you couldn't get it done in the first OT, it was close. You couldn't get it done in the second OT, it was close. And it took 12 minutes. We are seeing one of the best defensive showings from Rule 1, Mina's last hope. And no matter what they do, Vitality find a way. This team are regional champions for a reason.
And listen,
What do you even
Spaceman.
say?
I need some water, first and foremost.
Take a breather, brother.
But if we're being honest, this game, this series, it's not over. And I know that Boston, they were excited about that. And Rule 1 are now taking the timeout after 12 minutes. I mean, that is Team Vitality twisting the knife.
There's your look at your Mobile 1 high-performance replay. And here's the stat card. Take a gander.
Look at that.
10:41, 10:43, across the board.
Oh my God.
That is one of the best overtimes in Rocket League history.
I cannot believe what I'm witnessing. Roas, 12 saves to his name. We just witnessed some historic Rocket League here in Boston. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, you want to be here. You got to grab your tickets. Has this not convinced you already? And yet there's still more Rocket League to play. And 60 more seconds as well, granted to Rule 1. Spaceman, what do you even say to a team that just lost the record for the longest OT on land?
You tell them that you're this close for a reason, and all it takes is one lucky bounce to go your way. Rule 1 are down 3-0, but they are not out of this series. Again, it's Arena. Rule 1, can they do it? I think the answer is yes, but they gotta get through this juggernaut.
They got to get through the juggernaut. They got to fight through the team that kicked North America out of the tournament. It's not over yet. Game 4.
5 more minutes on the clock. This feels like a best of 11 at this point.
It's just 5 minutes. I'm not even worried right now. We went through 12 minutes. Another 5 minutes should be nothing.
A very necessary tactical timeout, and maybe they played it as best they could because they needed that after a 12-minute overtime. If you're just joining us, welcome in. Vitality up 3-0 in our lower bracket semifinal. Loser goes home, winner moves on, and Vitality just need one more 5-minute match to get it done.
Clears. That's a good setup. And for Rule 1, after the timeout, starting out on the right foot is crucial. As I say that, Team Vitality right back where things started, Spaceman.
Alpha died for the cause. Zen was overextended upfield, waiting for that touch from Alpha. And it's so perfect for Vitality. Cool, calm, collected, and a 1-0 lead.
I just can't get over the recovery from Vitality. Talk about this team. They went down against BDS. It was tough. It was abysmal. I didn't think they could bounce back with the inexperience from Zen, the poor performance from Radosin. But they are proving me, and I'm sure a lot of people, wrong. But there's still plenty of time for Rule 1 to get back into this game. I really hope for them that the mentality isn't in the gutter, because Vitality will not hit the brakes.
You can't keep Zen at bay for long. Everybody getting involved. The Globetrotters of Europe find their second goal. A minute gone. And as it continues to dwindle away, the reality sets in for Rule 1.
We need something.
They have not found anything in this series.
We have to see a sparkle, a light, a ray of hope for Rule 1. Or else it's gonna be a landslide victory for Team Vitality, 4-0. Already on match point, already have the lead. This is truly your backs against the wall.
Zen with so much space. The duality of Alpha and Zen together can break down teams piece by piece, atom by atom. An iota of difference between the two, but they are so good. And as Radosin has stepped up his game individually with so much on his shoulders from the Winter Major, that's what makes this team so deadly.
And it's gonna be that much harder too, because Team Vitality are feeling confident. They've got a 2-0 lead. Security, the safety net, and now make it 3. Team Vitality. You can see Radosin on the camera. He wants to remain calm and just keep the powerhouse moving.
That is absolutely vile.
These are the villains, Spaceman.
They're the best team in Europe for a reason. Rule 1, a Cinderella run. But they need to start scoring. Defense keeps you in games, offense helps you win them.
They
need the latter.
Anything. Will it be one of the twins? Maybe Mostyn shows up. Whatever you have right now, leave it all on the pitch, Rule 1.
There it goes!
Mostyn! Rule 1 are back!
Right into the offensive third, Kaliers worrying about Zen, does just enough to burn that boost forward and send the ball on its way, where Mostyn with the security cuts the lead to 2.
And that proves to this squad that you can get through this defense, that you were unable to do so for 12 whole minutes. Another double commit, Rule 1's defense. They've got to be exhausted, but you need to use the reserves that are left in the tank space.
And it's never been a question for Rule 1 about whether they can. It just came down to essentially closing out the play, finding one another.
Hitting the
Those
opportunities.
infield passes had been sporadic through game number 3. And in a best of 7, you can't afford to slack off in that department.
That does feel good to get at least one goal. Not sure where my hope for Rule 1 would lie, or if I'd even have any hope remaining.
That helps.
Had they not gotten a goal. Time running out. Rule 1 are against the clock. They're against the crossbar. Kaliers is against Zen. Can't get through.
2 demos at the midfield. The off-ball offense picking up for Rule 1. Causing a bit of chaos right now for Vitality as they'll double commit through the corner. No boost in the tank. Mostyn just trying to find a way to keep Rule 1 involved upfield. Back into play to Zen. On the pinch down low. Vitality were looking for the press and they found it.
The comms look picturesque for Team Vitality. 2 players in the same spot. One fakes it, leaves it for the other. The mind games, the illusions, the mechanics, the defense. Everything connected, fine-tuned for Team Vitality.
And Radosin stole boost, so it just creates so much more panic at midfield.
No, the first double commit though.
Every time you think you have possession for Rule 1, you're just getting challenged by Vitality.
They're also getting bumped out the way. That's just toxic from Alpha 54 and toxic from Zen to go up for a solo play and thinking he can break through Rule 1.
Continuing to kill time and burn this clock down. Fennec in hand for Radosin. Through the corner, wins another big challenge for Ruas on the interception to Kaliers. We trade it back into the same lane. Center box, Mostyn, quick shot, Zen slows it and gets it out. Backboard Ruas has to find a teammate. He will. Kaliers, far post. Here comes Mostyn, still in front, but Vitality survived.
That was it. That felt like the goal necessary, needed for Rule 1. 41 seconds remaining. Facing elimination. Mina might just get knocked out of the tournament.
Patience from Vitality. Pressure on Rule 1. Half a minute to play. The lifeline for Rule 1 is here and now. Can they get it out of their own corner? All it takes is one swing upfield. All it takes is one shot. One opportunity.
This has to be it, Spaceman.
They have no time now.
It's clear.
A long clear from Clears. Radosin can slow it and kill this game where it stands. It felt like a back and forth match because it was, but in the end, your three-time regional champions survive in this bracket. And they are the swift and terrible sword into the back of Rule 1.
They evolved from the wreckage and have set their sights on the Spring Major Trophy, one step closer to making history. They won every regional event.